Good morning. Good morning, Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, July 16, 2021, Friday, and quality, safety, title of talk being Civil Field Engineering, Quality AnnexSL COVID-19, HSC, Engineer's Role, Designs, Construction, Methods, contracts, organizations, communication, coordination, why be behind quality all time? A great question. Why, and why? We always rely on certificates, show to each other certificates. That's very fine. We show our certificates, various types of certificates to all, that this is my degree, this is my competency, or this is what I am. Okay, fine. This is very genuine way, but are we getting this? Do we get this by such certification? No, not by certification, but by work based on competency achieved by these certifications to get more and more competency, additional competency, and we can say that once you prove that you have competency based on this certificate, you can do better and better. You can do improvement and improvement on works in society. Then you can say you have achieved honor for these certificates. These certificates give title but not honors. Honor is achieved, and that's very important point here. I always talk about quality and safety. Maybe some people call me I'm quality phobic or safety phobic. Yes, you can call. You can call, you have every right to call that, but you should not forget that you also must have same, because you are an engineer or you are someone else or you are an ordinary person, not educated one, not professional one. Quality, safety, health, environment are all related in sequence of performance. Performance may be branch wise, performance may be domain wise, performance may be requirement wise, but these factors, how to achieve quality, how to uphold safety requirements, how to keep health intact, how to worry about working environment, these all are interlinked, all are in same string. We have to realize this fact. If we cannot realize this fact, we miss some professionalism somewhere. And if you think quality is not a part of work, then I can say there's something wrong somewhere in your way of thinking. Your thinking is not homogeneous, it has certain problems, and that's why you have to find what problems are in your setup, in your mental setup, or in your understanding setup. Whatever profession you do, whatever work you do, these factors, these requirements of string of quality and SHG cannot be isolated. And if you think these are isolated and you are doing a specific work on this, you are doing something very special. If you do achieve quality, in that case I can say that you are not right person. You are not a professional. Quality, safety, health and environment all move together, because quality is not for quality control alone. It's a part of work. It's a part of system. Quality safety, health, environment, work performance, materials, and you can say theories, practicals, formula, whatever you can say, all all lead to production. All factors lead to production, and production is product. Production is product. So we have to think comprehensively, not in isolation. There can be no quality element of any product that can be kept in isolation, or there can be no safety factor that can be kept in isolation. Usually, we call in our profession that safety first. That's right. Safety first. This doesn't mean I'm talking of hierarchy. I'm not talking of hierarchy of organization. I am talking of requirement. I am talking of consideration. I am talking of what factors should we take first. If I am not safe, I cannot work. If you are not safe, you cannot work. If your workers are not safe, they cannot work. Safe means safe from each and every aspect. Safe means working area should be safe. You should be safe. Work from whom you are taking, they should be safe. Environment surrounding you, or you can say working conditions around you, should be safe. Then you can say safety exists. Which tools you are going to use? Do you know about them? How to use? Which work you are going to do? You know how to keep others safe from impact of that work. We have to understand that. You work in factory, you work in industry, you work at home, or you work wherever you are. Safety remains a criteria everywhere. Your workload may be small, your work risk may be small. Even if you are in kitchen, you are working, safety there is a must. Safety is required everywhere. This is basics of life. It was before also, it's now as well. Yes, there might not be term used as safety, but safety war, safety actions, safety proposals, safety follow had always been there. We cannot deny this fact. How do I act individually? I should be safe. How do I walk? I should be safe. How should I sit in chair? I should be safe. Safety exists everywhere, and safety is then linked to health. If you are safe, you may be healthy, you may not be healthy, it depends. But work requires safety. Of course, you can work only when you are healthy to some requirements. Maybe you have ailments, maybe you have diseases, but those are conditioned. And quality and safety as well means how you maintain your safety, how you maintain your health. That's also a part of quality system in safety. That point you have to understand. Quality system is not just for quality, it's not just for quality, it is for every domain, every sub-discipline, every discipline. That's why I say quality, safety cannot be isolated. You cannot say, I am doing this work, I will do this, and its quality I'll take care of later on. That is not possible. That's not going to work. You cannot say, I can isolate quality separately, or I can isolate safety separately, and I shall deal with them otherwise after my work is over. That is, you can say, foolish understanding if somebody thinks like that. Quality and safety are required everywhere and in every activity in life, every walk in life. So we can say safety first. First consideration is safety when you start something. When you start some work, you start some action. Safety is first requirement. If you are not safe, you cannot do work. You will make accidents. You will make losses. Maybe you don't take care about material. Maybe you don't take care about resources like human resources. You don't take care of something else. That's what I say, safety first. Means first consideration should go to safety. And that is a common approach. When you are safe and you use your energy for work, means your energy goes to safe work conditions. You feel happy, okay, I am working safe, I am working with conscious, and to whom or for whom I am working, and I am extracting some work from others as well, means from my workers. They too are safe. They know how to work, how to use power tools and other tools without causing any major or minor accident or incident. That is where quality consciousness within work, within safety is understood, is explained. Means you think qualitatively, to an extent safety, health are related. You think qualitatively, your thoughts are based on professionalism. And that's what we say, quality and safety. And when we say quality and safety, that means you are a professional safety observer, safety practitioner. You know where you can make mistakes, where you can harm yourself, and how to protect yourself, and how can you keep your people protected, your workers protected. That is where quality and safety combination goes on and on. Quality cannot be separated from work. Yes, you can miss, that is something else, but you cannot separate it. Maybe you do something wrong or you don't comply by quality requirement which may be defined or which may not be defined in specifications. But if you don't do that, don't do work qualitatively, and you produce that and you say I've done it, it's called substandard work. Substandard in the sense that it's not having those considered criteria which were required to be applied to this product manufacturing. So your substandard work doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have any value. Rather, it gains losses because you have used material in that, and that material is of no use because it's not workable, it's not performable, and you can't achieve anything if you use that quality less material product. I say safety first, that is number one, but I also say safety is only first, but quality is must. No quality means no recognition. No quality means no standard material, no standard product. And if it's not standard product, why should someone buy it? Because a person who pays for that product must get that quality in. This point must be made clear to everyone. Do not think differently, because quality is a requirement. You are not doing any obligation. You are not favoring someone. No. You are paid for that and you must do that. That's what quality is. The same thing, if you cook your food and say, oh, it's excessive salt in this, it's excessive chili in this, or excessive oil in this. You say or don't say? Or excessive sugar you are done. This I don't like to taste it. It's too sweet. You say that. Means you may not say, but you require some quality input, and this quality input in during cooking do not meet your requirement you wanted to drink. You had some intention to drink this type of tea, but sugar is more, or it's not quantity of milk you wanted less quantity of milk, or you wanted more quantity of milk. That is your specification, your choice, and choice is quality. Of course it can affect your budget. You say, I could not afford that quantity of milk, so I put less quantity of milk. You can say, but that depends. What do you want? What do you expect from that work to deliver to you? This is very important point. We should be safe, we should be healthy, we should be working in good environment, and we should have good quality to deliver. That's why quality and safety are champions within production. If we don't do that, we don't have reputation, because we are not deliverer of good quality system, good safety. Okay, safety may affect during work, safety may affect during delivery, but safety is limited to production. It has nothing to do post delivery, because that is different kind of safety to be taken care of by user, by purchaser. But quality works continuously. It works during material selection, it works during worker selection, it works during specification selection, and it works during production manufacturing, or manufacturing work, manufacturing procedure, construction procedure, and it works post construction or post delivery of material. Quality continues forever during life cycle of that material, that product we are delivering. That point we have to understand. Quality input remains permanent. It's for good within material, within product. It cannot go out. It has to perform. Performance has to prove that it has got quality. So I can say safety is a first requirement. Safety first, and quality is a permanent requirement. Means quality is must. Safety first, quality must. This is what formula, this is what philosophy engineer or manufacturer must keep in mind. I'm talking of scientific actions, I'm not talking of sleeping actions. I don't believe in sleep during scientific work, because it is after all money that goes into work. It's material that's expensive, it's human resources which are expensive, it's machine resources that are expensive. We have to take care of that. And if we can't do that, then we can say that we are not professionals. Never, never, never. Quality has been defined many times, and every time we have to say yes or no. Again I say that engineers must realize quality facts, and in particular civil engineers, civil design engineers, civil construction engineers, and many types other civil engineers, mechanical engineers, electrical engineers have to change quality aspect of society, or else, because society stays in constructed deliveries, in constructed products, in constructed structures. Whole world is same. Societies are same. Requirements are same. Yes, there can be, of course, locally impacted changes. There can be national requirements. There can be local requirements. There can be other requirements. But overall, it is same that engineers must realize quality requirements, quality effects, intention we had during selection of quality specification, and particularly those in civil designs and civil construction have to change quality aspect of society, or else quality cannot exist. You have to understand this point. Unit of quality, unit of performance, unit of our results, unit of concentrations, all being thinking. Think is very small word, but it is very, very powerful. Thinking. Can you think? My question is, can I think? Shall they think? Means we can think of that whatever work you do, it is anticipated, it is expected that a person who does that work understands what that work is, and its understanding of that implementation of action. Thinking. Thinking can't be measured. Thinking can't be viewed. Thinking can't be projected. Thinking cannot be drawn. Thinking cannot be withdrawn. Thinking is immense power within everyone. Thinking leads to changes. It leads to modifications. Thinking is that kind of tool which can't be seen physically, but it works very well. It works very well through our body system, our mind system. You have to understand that. There is no pool of thinking, there is no variant in thinking. Even if there is something different, thinking shall remain thinking. Thinking shall remain thinking, and think. That's your job, and apply. That is engineering. Must apply. Without application, you cannot do engineering. Engineering is application of sciences. It's called applied sciences. Then what? Quality non-conformance product is called substandard and therefore rejected. Non-conformance means engineer is either careless or ignorant or incompetent one, and therefore is a redundant person. Simple. Maybe you are educated in engineering, but if you are unable to conform to requirement, to produce safe, working, and to provide, to deliver quality within that product or service, you can say you are rejected if you can't do that. And if you can do that, you are accepted everywhere. We have to understand these points. COVID-19 itself still claims that you have to understand what is quality. Its quality are changes. COVID-19 qualities are that it mutates, it changes its system, it changes its effect, it changes its existence. It modifies itself. It generates different type of viruses. I just means there is no end. There is no end. You have to realize this fact. No aim. And where there is no aim, there is nothing. What we are going to do? So when I say yesterday I was talking about safety, and still today I am going to talk about that. We considered about incident reporting, and I think I was somewhere, we had talked Form A, Form B, and we had gone to, I also explained my memories in that. Then we had gone to unsafe conditions. Then there are now basic clauses, preconditions that lead to unsafe act conditions. I'm just refreshing it as overlap. Already it's been understood, but overlapping is a must for refreshing. Preconditions that lead to unsafe act or conditions, that is failure to react to an unusual situation, training of new procedure, personnel, equipment, piece, process, and or materials. What says? Says failure to react. Failure to react to an unusual situation, that be training of new procedure, personnel, equipment, process or material, and not imparted with due to neglect by officials, that unusual situation could not be understood. No instruction provided or available. No toolbox talks conducted. Failure to correct existing situation. Carelessness, ignorance, no problem attitude. That is failure to correct existing. Oh, no problem, we'll take care of that. People say like that. Means they ignore it. And no problem attitude is not acceptable, because there is nothing as such. Problems do exist, and we say no problem. No. Check whether or not there is problem. Then say. They will not say then. They will say, okay, I checked it. They will check very fast. I know. Failure to correct existing situation. Carelessness, ignorance, and problem attitude. No problem attitude. Instruction, training, inadequate or not understood. Not confirmed by concerned officials. Instruction or training inadequate or not understood. Not confirmed by concerned officials. Neglect of responsibility. Then supervision failed to explain reasons or justify. One is instruction, training, inadequate or not understood because not confirmed by concerned officials, and supervision failed to explain Reasons are justified. Neglect of responsibility means supervisor failed to explain what to do. That is neglect of responsibility. Supervision failed to listen. Neglect of responsibility. Duties and tasks not clear. What you have to do, you do not know. It's not known to you how to do it. Neglect of responsibility. Duties and tasks not clear, and you ask them do it. Why? If you are not clear, or person who makes it, who does not that person is not clear what to do. So it's called neglect of responsibility. Pressure of immediate tasks. Lack of schedule and confidence. Pressure of immediate tasks. Responsibility not clear or not understood. Lack of awareness of job. Too many decisions makers giving instructions. Incoherent team. Authority inadequate to organize situation. Lack of leadership. Authority inadequate to manage situation. Lack of leadership. Decision to exceed authority means you have decided something which is not your prerogative, which understanding you don't have. You can say lack of leadership. Decision avoidance means you don't want to do what is decided, or you don't make decision. You're not going to make decision. This is called lack of leadership. Instruction failed to produce desired results. Lack of responsibility. Subordinates failed to use initiative. Lack of leadership. Moral tension and stress causing situations. Lack of leadership. I'll explain that. Job descriptions not adequate means lack of leadership. There's no leader, or there's a shortage. A person who is a leader is actually lacking in quality. That's sometimes lack of leadership. Honest error, wrong action taken. Honest error, wrong action taken. Lack of leadership. Poor cooperation, lack of leadership. Coordination, communication. Faulty inspection and maintenance. Faulty inspection and maintenance. Lack of leadership and supervision. Poor work control, coordination, leading to poor site conditions. Lack of leadership and supervision. Workload too much or too little. Lack of leadership over controls. Workload too much, too little. Then staff shortages, high turnover, absenteeism. Lack of leadership over controls. Personality type, namely impulsive, excitable, lazy, etc. Lack of leadership over controls. Poor work habits, taking shortcuts, carelessness with tools. Lack of leadership and supervision. Then you can say staff shortage, high turnover, absenteeism, lack of leadership or controls, personality type, impulsive, excitable, lazy, etc., lack of leadership or controls, poor work habits, taking shortcuts, carelessness with tools, lack of leadership and supervision, work assignment unsuited for particular individual, lack of leadership and supervision, management, all. Inadequate delegation or development of subordinates, lack of leadership and vision. Then we can say individual delegation or development of subordinates, lack of leadership and vision, health and impairment of individual, lack of leadership and vision, domestic or other external influence, lack of leadership. Now there are some, but there can be many more. We just want to explain again what it is actually. We say what is actually this is preconditions that lead to unsafe factor condition, means there's something which must be prepared well before starting some work. But due to certain reasons we are not professionals or we can't understand that. We can't have vision what we shall do. This is means called there's conditions that lead to unsafe, means we don't care for something before starting work, and that causes a problem in itself. To understand that point, these are preconditions that lead to unsafe act and other conditions, unsafe act, and that's why it's much more important. It's a kind of advanced safety thinking, means you decide what factors should apply, you decide what you should do to first devise safety methods, and when you devise them, means you have to think all these points which you never think or you miss. And that's to say, failure to react to unusual situations, failure to react to an unusual situation, that could be training of new procedure, or you can say new personnel, or you can say equipment, process or materials. Means we don't know what you have to do, how to deal with this product or material which is unusual for us, for every one of us, unusual. We can't see anything there as such. This means failure to view, actually failure to have vision about what we have to do. We can't think of in advance, means we can't understand risk. It's a kind of risk analysis. Failure to react, we can't react even, means failure to react on an unusual situation, means we have certain training of new procedures or personnel or equipment or the materials, so it's not imparted but least bother. So failure to react to an unusual situation, and we have to understand that point. We must have adequate knowledge that how to train people of new procedure, how to, you know, unusual situation, how to react to personal equipment, process or material. We should have complete understanding before we start something, that this product may take time for even water procurement. Then we can say no instruction provided or available. First was failure to react to an unusual situation, and there is no instruction provided or available. Why? If there is no one on that side to provide, so you can say no instruction provided or available means we did not disclose to our workers what they have to do, and you can say no toolbox talks conduct. Why? Question is that why not instruct people? And that's where it is. We don't do our job. Either we also don't know, or we don't want to tell them. Neither of ourselves or safety guys do the job. So must be then failure to correct existing situation. Carelessness, ignorance, no problem attitude, etc. etc. You can say. Failure to correct existing situation, we could not do that due to our carelessness, due to ignorance, due to no problem attitude, or due to whatsoever else you can say. Failure to correct existing situation means we just move on unsafe conditions, and that's what it says. Instruction, training, inadequate or not understood means no proper instruction, no proper training, no adequate, inadequate or not understood, and no confirmation of that, and we are going to work with same circumstances, same environment not known to us. So we can say failure to correct existing situation, and we cannot improve that, and we could not correct that situation, and we continue to work. Instruction, training, inadequate or not understood, same thing means we're sleeping people, we are sleeping industries, we are sleeping foremen, we are sleeping engineers, and instruction, training inadequate, we don't care for or not understood, that can lead to bad incidents. Supervision failed to explain reasons, justify. Yes. Supervision also saying no. Maybe our supervisions, our supervisory staff understand much better. You can say instruction, training inadequate or not understood. Supervision failed to explain reasons or justify. Means we can't explain, supervision fails. So there is a responsibility issue. Then we can say next one, duties and tasks not clear. Duties and tasks not clear, neglect of responsibility, we can say. Why I didn't know what I had to do? What's my job? I don't know. Then how can I be responsible? My question is that if I don't know my duty or I don't know what task I have to do, then why should I be given employment? And if, say, for concession reasons I can get employment, I should work for society so that I return back what money I take. Means duty and tasks not clear. If I don't know my work, how can I do it? It's very, very simple. So I am not responsible, you can say. Not responsible. Pressure of immediate tasks. First I am not responsible, then there's a pressure of immediate task. Means there is no time, there is no standard, and only confidence you have without having any degree of education. Pressure of immediate tasks means lack of schedule and confidence. Responsibility not clear or not understood. Responsibility not clear or not understood. Why I am not responsible? I don't know my responsibility, or I could not understand that. When we say responsibility not clear or not understood, this means we are on wrong track. If I don't know what I have to do, I am not supposed to do, and if I do, that's wrong. It can lead to bad incidents. This is called lack of awareness of job. Too many decisions makers giving instructions. All are leaders. That never works. Remember. Now, too many decisions makers. I'll be back within certain time. Let me go to see. Let's concentrate on this for time being. Let us see. Think on this. How to handle this. We'll back. Okay? We'll back. also we can say too many decision makers giving instruction, that means it's called incoherent team, because there's no team leader in that. That's why I say too many decision makers, which means non-logical decision, and these decisions cannot work. This can lead to problems because so many decisions. One man says one thing, another man says another thing, third man says something, fourth man says like that. So it's like indisciplined world. Too many decision makers giving instruction, that's not reliable. So everybody says something and work is done wrong. Work is done many times. It is to be reworked. Authority inadequate to manage situation, means there is no power, there is no logical person, there is no responsible person who can organize such situation, and this situation leads to unsafe work because there exists no leader, or a decision to exceed authority, that you are not authorized for something and you give decision, and that decisions, if implemented, can lead to unbecoming situation from viewpoint of safety. And also, if you do not take decisions, there are both ways. You are first of all taking wrong decision, or second that you are going to decide something which doesn't come under your prerogative, or you are not qualified for that. You can say, when it says doesn't come under your prerogative, is you're not qualified to take that decision. You take that decision based on no clarity, no experience, and relates to unsafe work. And also, if you do not take decision, you are not even going to take decision per your capability. Means you are not leader. Your leadership character is absent. So avoiding decision is also capable to not to implement safety what is required to be implemented. So avoiding decision also helpless. Instruction fail to produce desired results because your instruction might be based on no requirements. You have no experience, or you could not conceive, you could not view what was expected to be conducted with. Subordinates fail to use initiative. Subordinates fail to use initiative. Subordinates means even you decide, subordinate did not do anything. They took it lightly and everything was missed from provision point of view, and that leads to such a situation. Subordinates fail to use initiative, and you can say moral tension and stress causing situation. Generally we say this was moral to be done, there was a tension element, there was stress causing situation. I don't understand this, how stress is coming in. When you do job, you know your job, you're strong enough, you're safe, you're healthy. I don't know, moral tension and stress causing situations because of you have no physique, you have no mental power, you're not even interested, and you, because of all depressive curves, you can say negative curves, you can say these issues arise, and it can lead to unsafe work due to no morality and no tension for work and no stress causing situation, because if you don't work and you keep in tension yourself, of course you won't be able to decide anything, and you won't work, and absence of work itself causes tension. Or when a person is not responsible despite being responsible position, person is not responsible, the tension either of work itself leads to stress, leads to depression. job description is not adequate or not clear. Why not clear? It's not clear to person who's going to work, or it's not clear to person who's going to dominate that person. If both understand or both don't understand, depends. If I don't know what to do, what I have to do, how can I do? But generally, it happens very rarely. People don't know their job. They know. They know. Maybe they know how to do it, but they don't know how to do it. I think that's second situation. They do not know what to do, but that's important. And can say can only two extents. Honest error, wrong action taken. This error and action was wrong. Means all these points either declare that there's a lack of leadership or lack of responsibility. Poor cooperation means lack of leadership. There's no cooperation among people. And when there is no cooperation means there is no coordination. And when there is no coordination means there is no communication. And you can say there is no leader. There is no leader because they don't talk to each other, they don't discuss with each other. There's no communication, there's no coordination. Nobody knows what to do next. Faulty inspection and maintenance. Faulty inspections. You didn't know what to inspect or just pass something. You don't know what to maintain that. It can lead to something wrong. And that's also called lack of leadership and supervision. Poor work control, poor coordination, leading to poor site conditions, site working conditions, and that's also related to lack of leadership and supervision. I don't know what to do, what to control, how to control. I don't know how to coordinate with others. Means I'm not able to, I'm not qualified for this work, but still I am controlling. Workload too much or too little. Too much work or too little work, both are, devils. You can say, too little I have, okay, empty vessel sounds much. Or too much work you can't do, means you're not having potential to do that work fully. Means you're not qualified for that much work, and that can also lead to bad situations of safety. Staff shortages, high turnover, absenteeism. Of course, staff should be present, strength of staff should be available to meet requirement. If there is staff shortage, it shall affect, of course, turnover same, absenteeism too. That can cause problems, and lack of leadership because your leader does not understand reason behind that. Maybe that could be reason. Staff shortages, personality type, that is impulsive, excitable, lazy, depends on what sort of person one is. Means not constant thinker, impulsive, excitable, lazy, and that's also there's no control. Leadership does not have any control there. Then you can say poor work habits. What are poor work habits? Can say poor work habits are taking shortcuts, always running on shortcuts, careless with tools, you don't care for tools. Alright, I will do it now, start it, leave it there, go. That's dangerous situation. We can't do that, but we do, because poor work habits. I'm not a professional. I just do at random. I do through shortcuts. I don't go through procedure. I'm careless with tools. The situation and cause accidents. Of course, work assignment unsuited for particular individual. You assign some work to a person who is not qualified for the work, has no experience on that. It's called your mistake, leadership mistake, supervisor's mistake, organizational mistake. How can you assign work to someone who doesn't suit for that work? Question is, you have to find the right person for right job. Right job means a person, what can that person do? You test that person and then assign job. Or that person is very well educated, very well qualified, well experienced, that the person can do. So you can say work assignment, very important part. Inadequate delegation of development of subordinates. Inadequate delegation means you are not giving full delegation, you are giving part delegation, or you are not allowing them to develop. That's lack of yourself, not of delegate, not of your deputy. Health and impairment of individual, and if you can't keep your people healthy and you can't allow them for anything, it can lead to unsafe conditions, domestic or other external influence, conflict. Now, root causes is very important. What root causes are? Root causes is general failure types found in accident causes. General failure types causes for accidents. We can do that. That is, procedure is that inadequate quality of existing procedures. Inadequate quality of existing procedures regarding application, availability, you can say realism and understanding caused by general failures. Can be listed as procedures is inadequate quality of existing procedures. There is no quality in these procedures regarding application, availability, realism and understanding caused by inadequate quality of existing procedures regarding application. Regarding application, availability, realism and understanding, that is what it is. It says inadequate quality of existing procedures regarding application, availability, realism and understanding caused by what? Inadequate team that develop procedures. Inadequate team that develop procedure. Incompetent team management or organization, you can say. Inadequate team that develop procedure. The team was itself inadequate. It is not qualified. How could it develop procedure? Inadequate feedback about procedure. Inadequate feedback about procedure means what procedure should be, there was no input. It was incomplete input or it was irrelevant input, means lack of leadership, lack of communication, you can say. We did not try to get more information or sources, reliable sources. That's inadequate feedback about procedure. Personnel not informed about procedures. Our staff was not informed about what procedure was. Lack of leadership, communication, you can see there's no leader, no communication. can say lack of personnel not informed about procedures and inadequate indexing of filing system. Inadequate indexing of filing system. There's no filing system or incomplete. Inadequate. Inadequate indexing of filing system, and also no organization, no management, no leadership, or lack of leadership. Lack of requirement to have what's procedures. Either procedures are not done, or there is no requirement. Means nothing is clear. Now, if there is no indexing of filing system, people can't refer something, they want to refer to what? They can't refer to know. If I want to know something, no filing system, this means they cannot refer. Who shall tell them? No feedback, no filing system, and no information about procedure and no development of procedure. Then say, requirements do not know everywhere. Leadership is in question. Conflicting targets. You have to understand these points very well. Why conflict? Why can't we? Questions. Why can't we? We have to be smart enough. Means conflict between production and safe working practice. One is that conflict between financial priorities and safe working practices, and conflict between social and domestic priorities on safe working practices, and conflict between individual priorities and safe working practices. Means production and safe working, force, financial promotion priorities and safe working, social and domestic priorities and safe working, individual priorities and safe working. Everywhere lack of leadership is answered. But conflict where? Production and safe working practices, if there is a conflict, that's a problem. No conflict. Between production and safe working, there can be no conflict. Production and safe working are related proportionally, directly proportional. Cannot say this is safe working and this is production. You can't say you have to produce this much, whatever you have to. This means there's overload. So how can you say safe working practices? Financial priorities, because you want money more, you want to make more money, and social and domestic priorities, and you can see individual priorities. It's a very, very important point, very, very important analytical points. Consider the okay. So production and safe working. Safe working means limited production, defined production. Similarly, safe working means whatever you produce, you will get finance, but you earn more finance. And also, domestic priorities means social and domestic priorities. Society wants something, domestic wants something, or you can say you have to export also something. You can't say that there's a limit. You can't go beyond that. Or you have to, if you want something, you have to increase your resources, enhance your resources, and do that. Or you can say safe working practice, individual practice. All these are conflicting with each other. Conflicting with each other. No conflict if you want safety. Then communications, difficulties caused by language problem. Well, I think it's a problem, but not universal problem. Language problems, cultural barriers, lack of clear lines of communication, inadequate feedback or toolbox talks, no standardization of information formats, lines of communication overload. Cultural barriers, language problems means it's a problem, of course, but when you place someone there of same language and same culture may not be that much, but language may be a problem. But that can be solved. It's not such a big problem that we allow accidents, we allow incidents to happen. So communication, I think it depends in which field you work. And if people know work, communication cannot be that big a problem. It can be resolved easily. Communication lines means there's misunderstanding probably sometimes because of language. There can be misinformation, means we have to solve it. There should be clear transmission, clear translation, and not once, probably repetitive, twice, thrice. Until something is clearly known. You can say inadequate feedback means you're not giving toolbox talks, you're not doing some explanation, you're not telling them facts, you're not demonstrating something to them. You have to demonstrate what is safe, what's not safe. And that's what toolbox talks about. Toolbox talks not simply talk, it's demonstrations. If you say that it should be demonstrated how to use those skills, you told you how to. You have to give them some working examples. So you to do that on site and go to their work center and show them. Every activity should be demonstrated properly. Talk doesn't mean talk only. It means talk and work. Produce them, show to them how to work. Watch them when they work sometimes. That's also part of toolbox talk. So you can say no standardization of information format. Yes, that's the point. Means formats not available or available but not standardized. Information can be given but missed away. You don't remember, so many points are there. In civil construction, it's not easy. It's not easy because so many activities, so many procedures, so much material, and only by experience and by working they can show how it's done. And no can say, if you give so much information to them in one go, communication, lot of communication with them. But don't forget, those people are physical workers. They are not trained foremen who can go through all these communications. You can say hardware quality, availability of tools and equipment. Inadequate specification of equipment. I'm talking hardware now, machine, equipment, whatever. Tools means inadequate specification, wrong component purchased or used. Equipment may not be available, leading to improvisation. Defective equipment, age of equipment compared to life expectancy. Is directly related to machine. You can say machine, whatever type it is. It may be manual, it may be mechanical, it may be electrical, it may be digital, whatever. It's not according to specification requirement, or components are not compatible. Whatever you purchase, wrong components are there, or use wrong components, or this equipment is not available, may not be available, leading to improvisation. Defective equipment, it is age of equipment compared to life expectancy. Means your equipment should be clearly workable, performable, meeting your requirement. You should meet your requirement. And you can say it's not defective, it is the given life. Only then you can say you can work smoothly. Equipment actually is a full support to work. It's not because I say or someone else says, it's required. Then you can say the design criteria of plant and equipment. Number one is design not fully understood to operate safely. You can say poor specifications leading to substandard material and inherent weakness in system. Specification not complied with. Lack of leadership lies everywhere in coordination. That is, design not fully understood to operate safely. Lack of leadership coordination. Poor specification leading to substandard materials and inherent weakness in system. Coordination and control and vision. Specification leading to substandard materials and inherent weakness. So coordination, lack of coordination, and you can say poor specification. First is design not fully understood to operate safely. Then specification is poor, material is poor, and system is weak, which is also due to lack of leadership, lack of coordination and vision. Then specification not complied with. It's also lack of leadership supervision. Specification not complied with. Environmental conditions, situation which may influence individual or workplace caused by, maybe many points here as well, 6 points. Let me take water. Environmental conditions, a situation which may influence individual or workplace, that is poor morale, which can be caused by a number of situations: unfair enforcement of rules, weak discipline, rule changes, etc., etc. And here is also lack of leadership, bad team management, organization. Poor morale means number of situations like unfair enforcement of law, rules, work, weak discipline, rule changes. Other one is physical deterioration, deterioration caused by working long hours, subject to undue pressure. Physical deterioration caused by working long hours, subject to undue pressure. Lack of leadership, bad team management. Emergency or unusual situation. Emergency or unusual situation with staff unable to cope with or respond. Lack of leadership, bad team management. It is an emergency or unusual situation with staff unable to cope with or respond. Information not correct or supplied. Information not correct or supplied. Poor coordination between departments causing interface problems. Circumstantial factor such as domestic pressures, homesicknesses, non-payment of salaries in time, reducing salaries, not promoting when due. These are certain points of interest, can say. That is poor morale, that can be caused by number of situations, namely unfair enforcement of rules, weak discipline, rule changes, physical deterioration caused by working long hours, subject to undue pressure, emergency or unusual situation with staff unable to cope with or respond. Information not correct or supplied with. Poor coordination between departments causing interface problems. The circumstantial factors such as domestic pressures, homesickness, non-payment of salaries in time, reducing salaries, not promoting when due. Then training shortcomings in skill and knowledge caused by it's that in training shortcomings in skill, you can say training shortcomings in skill and knowledge caused by, you can say, ineffective pre-employment selection. Your selection is not correct, it is ineffective. You can say bad HR organization, bad HR work. Prior education not compatible with job requirement. Again, same reason, bad HR. No structured planning of training program, bad HR. No assessment of training effectiveness, bad HR. Ineffective training, lack of leadership and management. Lack of leadership means nobody knows what to do, how to train. Training not appropriate for personnel, it was aimed at. Leadership is lacking. Housekeeping and other side conditions that may influence acts and omissions. Bad team. So what points are there regarding training? You can reaccess. Ineffective pre-employment selection. Ineffective pre-employment selection, prior education not compatible with job requirements, no structured planning of training program, no assessment of training effectiveness. Ineffective training, training not appropriate for personnel it aimed or it was required for. Housekeeping and other side conditions that may influence acts and omissions. Then we can say organization, shortcomings in structure of organization leading to inadequate operation of a company or project caused by inadequately defined departments or parts of organization. Inadequately defined departments or parts of organization, that is bad corporate consideration, bad corporate regulations, bad corporate, you can say, organization means departments could not be defined adequately or some other parts could not be defined adequately. Unclear accountability, responsibility or delegation structure, unclear hierarchy, unclear job description, unclear appointment. So you can say unclear accountability, unclear responsibility or unclear delegation structure. Inadequate definition of objectives and coordination of project and task. Inadequate definitions of objectives are not clear, and coordination of projects and tasks is inadequate. No coordination, no task. Frequent reorganization frequent reorganization of departments, both are bad organizations, bad management, top management is bad. Inadequate definitions of objectives and coordination of projects and tasks, frequent reorganization of departments, and too much bureaucracy and rigidity, lack of leadership. Too much bureaucracy and rigidity. We can say then we go to maintenance. Adequate management of maintenance and repairs caused by, what's that? maintenance and repairs. Inadequate planning. Inadequate planning, inadequate controlling, inadequate execution, and inadequate recording of maintenance programs. So there is no corporate organization, no project management, nothing can say bad work, bad policy, bad corporate, bad project, bad project controls, shortage of maintenance personnel, unclear policy, no maintenance personnel, finance or time constraints, manage critically. Now, defense, inadequate protection of employees and environment against hazardous situations caused by what? That is, inadequate protection of employees and environment against hazardous situation caused by what? Lack of standardization, means layout and displays, lack of standardization, that is bad corporate. Economic considerations, human limitations, namely size and strength of individual, ergonomics considerations, human limitations. There is no production lab, so bad corporate. Talking of inadequate production. So inadequate ergonomic consideration, inadequate human limitations, and also inadequate communication between designs and end users, allowing substandard conditions to remain unchecked, lack of leadership, financial and other constraints during design phase, bad top management or bad top organization, poor discipline and enforcement, no leader, poor discipline and enforcement. So root causes listed above are general. Root causes listed above are general. These causes can be correctly by employing professionals and engineers. This can be corrected by employing professional engineers and professional managers or professional organizers. This can be corrected by having application of pragmatism, can check and resolve all issues. I'm sorry for certain errors and mistakes in spellings, we'll correct them. It should be noted that these failures are generally cumulative results of policy decisions, and where possible, they should also be checked for whatever actions taken to remedy such causes, factors at corporate level. Detail and remedial actions taken to date. Self-explanatory, give brief details of what actions are being put in effect to prevent recurrence. All actions to remedy foregoing causes or impacts should be recorded in details, and additional action necessary to be recommended or instructed should be included for resorting to further actions. All requirements should be clear in all respects, so that all instructions be self-explanatory on reporting documents. Priority action plan. Priority action plan. Detailed action. Detailed actions to be taken, including procedure charges, procedure changes, training programs, etc., with dates for completion. In addition to general and specific actions required to be resorted to, meet no further accidents, state immediate actions on priority basis required to be resorted to should be circulated immediately without making any delay, so that remedial procedures come into effect. Investigation team filled in by site safety representative, indicating personnel who were included on investigation team and shall sign and date report. Filled in by site safety representative, indicating personnel who were included on investigation team and shall sign and date report. Report shall be clear and precise, and if so required, seminar or senior level talks could be planned for additional learning by all classes of personnel. Attachments we have done here for both A and B forms we explained to you. Then this is a category A, for example. Category A form says type of incident. Category A, type of incident. Let's say what it says actually. It says that, here category A is reporting form, category B incident investigation sheet, and investigation detail says that this form is completed in support of all category B reports by supervisor in charge of work being carried out. In this report, supervisor should identify personal version of facts regarding what happened on work locations, provide details of all pertinent information, and give a brief statement on instruction given, including training brief or all information given. Can say including training brief or all information given which relates to supervisor's action that may have a bearing on incident. General continuation sheet to be used for either category A or category B report, providing witness statements, sketches, investigation comments, or some other detail required in overall support report. Now, category A, reporting form. If you see type of incident, category A report says incident report number, date of accidents. Type of incident says personal injury, property damage, near miss. Potential severity, property damage report, plant equipment involved, estimated cost, action taken to prevent recurrence, injury report, surname, first name, date of birth, nationality, home address, telephone number. Status, single, married, spouse, number of children, home address, telephone number, details of employment, company name, company address, telephone number. Hours on shift that day, occupation, consecutive days worked before accident, experience years, months, how long on site, immediate supervisor, medical detail, description of injury, illness, then part of body affected, head, eyes, neck, back, torso, arm, wrist, hand, finger, internal. Category B, investigation sheet. Investigation detail. Category B, incident report number is this. Previous was reporting form and this is investigation sheet. This is difference. Investigation details. Category B, incident report number completed by supervisor, name, signature, job title, company, weather conditions on site, location of incident, that is area, unit, equipment, date and time of incident, date and time of incident, day, month and year, time, AM, PM, date and time of investigation of incident, day, month and year, time, AM, PM. Description of incident. Weather condition I missed this. Location of incident, area, unit and date of time of incident is this, and description of incident is here. You can describe here what incident was. Site inspection and investigation details are here. So description of incident is here. Site inspection, investigation details and supervisor statement, signature. Procedures, permits on operation. Says procedure, permits on operation, number, dated issues, work description, number, dated issues, like that. Investigation details. Investigation details, that is incident report number, completed by supervisor, weather conditions, date and time, description of incident, site inspection, investigation details, supervisor statement, and the same, General continuation sheet, subject matter, date, please include sketches, diagrams that could be posted. And then you can say accident reporting is a big question here. It's really something you can say. Hmm. Hmm. Lifting, rigging, and hoisting. What is hoisting and rigging in industrial settings? What is hoisting and rigging in industrial settings? Ability to safely move heavy loads from one location to another. Ability to safely move heavy loads from one location to another. Important for success of your business, your employees should know how to safely use hoists in movement of bulky goods. Hoists rely on slings to hold suspended loads, and they are important in handling materials. Selecting right sling for jobs only first step in hoisting and rigging process. Next step should be to ensure that your employees learn how to safely hold and move suspended loads by providing them with safety training. Success of business, your employees should know how to safely use hoist in movement of bulky goods. Hoist rely on slings to hold the load. Slings to hold suspended loads, and they are important in handling of materials. Selecting right sling for job is only first step in hoisting and rigging process. Next step should be to ensure that your employees learn how to safely hold and move suspended loads by providing them with safety training. Potential dangers during hoisting and rigging. According to Occupational Safety Health Association from America, there is approximately 125,000 cranes in United States. Cranes help ease construction and other industrial projects. However, just like other heavy machinery, improper safety practices and attention to detail can cause tragic accidents. You should not understand the state dangers of improper crane operations. By understanding some common causes of accidents during hoisting and rigging, you can also help reduce likelihood of workplace injuries and fatalities. Some of common causes of crane accidents include dropped goods due to improper rigging, dropped goods due to improper rigging, hoisting and rigging. Improper weight calculation. Different rigging equipment have different weight limits, and excess weight can cause failure, leading to boom collapse. To avoid collapse of your goods, ensure that your employees adhere to indicated weight limits. So we can say improper weight calculations and crane tipping. Crane tipping is extremely dangerous for your workers. Although these incidents are rare, most of them are caused by wrong outrigger use. This is often related to poor ground conditions, including excavation, depressions, uneven grading, and winds. Electrocution. Electrocution. Although more and more towns and cities are shifting to underground power lines, it has not been implemented in all areas. Several areas still use overhead power lines, and your crane operators should be keen and work in such areas. Unfortunately, recent OSHA statistics indicate that electrocution is responsible for one and we can say electrocution after that. HOW formal training will help your employees to better handle hoisting and rigging activities. Workers who are involved in hoisting and rigging tasks should receive safety training. Safety should be your foremost concern when it comes to tasks involving moving airborne loads. Safe rigging activities require knowledgeable riggers that are aware of all events. Workers who are involved in hoisting rigging tasks should receive safety training. Safety should be foremost concern when it comes to tasks involving moving airborne loads. Safe rigging activities require knowledgeable riggers that are aware of all elements that can reduce capacity, affect hoisting and rigging safely. Then you can say that safe rigging activities require knowledgeable giggers that are aware of elements that can reduce capacity, affect hoisting and rigging safety, and ensure safe rigging, lifting and land and loads. Hoisting and rigging training is also teach your employees how to select right rigging equipment. Selecting rigging equipment is very important as it can make or break hoisting and rigging activities at your workplace. However, through employee training, your employees will learn how to calculate weightage, you can say communicate effectively and set. Then you can say selecting right equipment is very important as it can make or break hoisting and rigging activities at your workplace. However, through employee training, your employees shall learn how to calculate weight and size of loads and capability of your rigging equipment. Understanding weight limit of rigging equipment from hoists and ropes to slings. You can say communicating effectively. Work sites tend to be noisy and it is important to have clear communication when rigging equipment are being used. Crane operators will need direction of slings, loads and cranes which are out of sight. Through training, your employees will learn how to communicate effectively when giving directions using a radio or whistle. Mastery of this skill will greatly help to reduce worksite disasters caused by misunderstandings. Using rigging equipment safely. Using rigging equipment safely. Hoisting and rigging activities require your employee to work at great heights that can be risky. Therefore, it's important that your employees have right procedures to ensure safety of both those in air and those on ground. This involves assembling of equipment correctly so that it can maintain its integrity when being used. Through safety training, the employees will learn about perimeter safety screens and safety nets. Accident can happen whatever time, but through formal hoisting and rigging training, you can help prevent them. To help reduce or eliminate employee accidents, visit training. All I can say. Cranes and machinery. Types of hoisting equipment. Types of hoisting equipment in construction. Hoisting is lifting of material against gravity and may be done with a wide range of equipment from small hand operated simple screw or hydraulic jack to modern high powered cranes and elevators. Hoisting is lifting a weight from one location and moving it to another location which is at a reasonable distance. Big projects such as construction of dams, industrial buildings, etc. require hoisting equipment. Hoisting equipment includes jacks, winches, chain hoists, and cranes. Hoisting equipment. Types of hoisting equipment is construction. Chain hoist. This is movable pulley, rope and pulley, chain hoist, mobile crane, electric winch, tower crane, derrick crane, overhead gantry crane. What is meaning of hoist? Pulley and sheave block, chain hoist, mobile cranes, winch, jack, shear leg, tower crane, whirl crane, derrick crane, gantry crane. Hoisting equipment. Movable pulley. A pulley is a wheel on an axle or shaft that is designed to support movement and change or direction of a cable or belt along its circumference. Pulleys are used in a variety of ways to lift loads, apply forces, and to transmit power. In nautical context, assembly of wheel, axle, and supporting shell is referred to as a block. Assembly of wheel, axle, and supporting shell is termed as a block. A pulley may also be called a sheave or drum and may have a groove between two flanges around its circumference. Drive element of pulley system can be rope, cable, belt, chain that runs over pulleys inside grooves. Rope and pulley and sheave blocks suitable for lifting rough surfaces and heavy loads. For this purpose, chains and wire ropes are used. Alloy chains are best suited for hoisting operation. Weakest component of this system is load hook. Hook fails by straightening. Once hook gets elongated or strengthened, it should be replaced. A typical sheave and pulley block is shown. Chain hoist. Chain hoists are popular mechanism for lifting loads of up to tons. System consists of two sets of chains, namely hand and load chain. Hand and load chain. Hand chains are particularly used for isolated locations where an active motor or other types of mechanical equipment aren't available. Pull applied through hand chain is transmitted to load chain with a multiplication factor of over 20. Load to be lifted is held by a load hook, while another hook called support hook at top support mechanism. Two hooks, however, should not be interchanged, as support hook is made much stronger than load hook. There are four types of hand-operated chain hoist in use: differential, screw-geared, spur-geared, pull-lift. Differential, screw-geared, spur-geared, pull-lift. Types of hoist equipment in construction. Mobile crane. Mobile crane is used in big construction projects for lifting heavy loads. It's used for loading and unloading for materials in coal mines, loading and unloading of ships, to take load from ground level and place it into trucks. Electric winch. A winch is a mechanism in the shape of cylinder or drum, which rope or chain is wound. If a winch is used only for raising and lowering, it's sometimes referred as hoist. Winches are two types: hand winches and power winches. Tower crane. These are cranes of swing type and are mounted on high steel towers. Height of tower may be 25 to 30 meters, and these cranes are found to be suitable in construction of tall buildings in congested areas. Ground area required for such crane is very small. This crane is a combination of stationary and mobile units. This combines advantages of a long boom of direct crane and mobility of mobile crane. Rotating structure has an outer framework. Rotating structure has an outer framework. Boom is attached to front end of this framework. Boom is attached to its front end of this framework. Counterweight is provided at rear end. Boom is attached to front end of this framework. Counterweight is provided at rear end on diagonally opposite corners of base. Two separate motors are provided which give movement to central shaft. Derrick cranes are of two types: guy derrick and stiff leg derrick. Guy derrick consists of vertical mast. This mast is supported by number of guys and can revolve through 360 degrees while revolving. Radius of revolution should be such that revolving structure is not obstructed by guy wires. Power is supplied by diesel engine or by an electric motor. A typical derrick crane is illustrated. This derrick can be constructed up to 200 tons capacity in stiff leg type derrick. Guy wires are replaced by truss structure. This type of derrick is suitable for loads from 10 to 50 tons. Overhead gantry crane. Gantry cranes or overhead cranes. Gantry cranes or overhead cranes are indispensable machines in factories. Indispensable machines in factories and workshops. In large workshops, there are separate machines for fabrications or repairs of machine parts. Machine or components which are to be repaired can be transferred to place of fabrication or assembly with help of gantry cranes. Gantry cranes or overhead cranes are indispensable machines in factories and workshops. In large workshops, there are separate machines for fabrications or repairs of machine parts. Machine or components which are to be repaired can be transferred to place of fabrication or assembly with help of gantry cranes. Hoisting equipment assists in lifting and positioning of large, heavy loads in a variety of industries including automotive, chemicals, commercial printing, manufacturing, newspaper, paper, steel, warehousing and distribution. Hoisting equipment provides a variety of benefits. Customizable, ergonomics, flexible. Customizable. Hoisting equipment can be customized with blow hook attachment. Hoisting equipment can be customized with blow hook attachments and effects or specialized tooling to handle a diverse variety of products and loads. Ergonomics by doing heavy lifting. Hoisting equipment takes strain off operators, reducing fatigue and lowering risk of injury. So by doing heavy lifting, hoisting equipment takes strain off operators, reducing fatigue and lowering risk of injury. Flexible hoisting equipment can be easily refitted for longer lifting capability. What is meaning of hoist? Hoist is to raise up or lift as a crane or forklift would. You can hoist yourself up onto the roof. If you get a better view, you can hoist yourself up onto roof to get a better view, or hoist your teammate onto your shoulders after she scores winning goal, or hoist your teammate onto shoulders after she scores winning goal. This word is generally used to describe heavier lifting, like hoisting of fallen tree onto bed of a truck, or hoisting Super Bowl trophy over your head after a game. In nautical terms, where it comes up often, hoist refers to a group of flags that are raised all at once to communicate a signal. Types of hoisting equipment in construction. What is the hoist in construction? A hoist is a device used for lifting or lowering a load by means of a drum or lift wheel around which a rope or chain wraps. It may be manually operated, electrically or pneumatically driven, and may use chain, fiber or wire ropes as its lifting medium. What is classed as lifting equipment? Lifting equipment is any whatever work equipment for lifting and lowering loads, and includes whatever accessories used in doing so, such as attachments to support, fix or anchor equipment. Examples lifting and includes overheads, cranes and their supporting runways. What is rigging in construction? Rigging is a process used to secure materials to be moved by cranes. Rigging is a process used to secure materials to be moved by cranes, hoists, or other lifting equipment. There are many factors to be considered when applying slings and chains to secure a load. What is a hoist beam? Hoist is simply a machine that is used for lifting and lowering of heavy loads. Hook or lug can be used to permanently mount a hoist on one location or affix it to a trolley. A trolley is a vehicle that travels on an overhead rail or beam, normally used to move hoist and its load from place to place. What is the difference between a hoist and a lift? As verbs, the difference between lift and hoist, the lift is intransitive, to raise or lower, raise or rise, whilst hoist is to raise, to lift, to elevate, especially to raise or lift to a desired elevations by means of tackle or pulley, as a sail, a flag, a heavy package of weight. This is what's difference between lift and hoist. Lift is intransitive, to raise or rise, while hoist is to raise, to lift, to elevate, to especially to raise or lift to desired elevation by means of tackle or pulley, as a sail, a flag, a heavy package of weight. And hoist is a device used to lift or lower a load by means of drum or lift wheel around which rope or chain wraps. What is a chain? What is a hoist? You can say a hoist is a device used for lifting or lowering a load by means of a drum or lift wheel around which rope or chain wraps. It may be manually operated, electrically or pneumatically. Dealer may use chain, fiber or wire ropes as its lifting medium. Chain fall. How does chain fall work? It's chain block. Chain block, also known as hand chain hoist, is a mechanism used for lift and lower heavy loads using a chain. Chain blocks contain two wheels in which chain is wound. Chain is wound around. When chain is pulled, it winds around wheels and begins to lift this item. Okay. How does a chain fall work? A chain block, also known as hand chain hoist, is a mechanism used to lift and lower heavy loads using a chain. Chain blocks contain two wheels in which chain is wound around. When chain is pulled, it winds around wheel and begins to lift item that is attached to its rope or chain by a hook. Hoisting is lifting of material against gravity and may be done with a wide range of equipment from small hand operated simple rescue. beam trolley, beam clamps, beam trolley, beam clamps, SPR beams, web slings, air hoists, hydraulics, hoisting, rigging equipment, Hillman's roller, gantry steel, aluminum, electric, chain, shackles, winches, low profile dollies, hoisting, rigging equipment rentals. Okay, leave it. Beam trolley, we have to be interested. Ability to move. Ability to move materials safely from one location to another is necessary for many activities all over the world. Heavy hoists and cranes are used when materials are too bulky or heavy to be moved manually, while hoisting and rigging is an important part of our lives. Improper rigging methods and wrong choice of equipment can cause can cause burns, cuts, physical impairments, serious injuries, and fatalities. Although OSHA heavily regulates process of hoisting and rigging, all too often we have a rate of hoisting and rigging accidents that cause extensive damage and even deaths. However, when your crane operators are sufficiently trained on how to use safe hoisting methods, they can prevent most hoisting and rigging accidents. In almost 250,000, 500,000 cranes operating in the United States alone, accidents are bound to happen. According to OSHA, there are several hazards that can arise during hoisting and rigging. However, some of most common hazards that you should be aware of to keep yourself include electrical hazards, material falling, overloading, electrical hazards. OSHA estimates that nearly 45% of all overhead cranes results from machinery encountering a power source. This often happens when safety planning isn't conducted and important preventive measures aren't in place before your workers start working. It's important that trained professionals conduct a safety audit and hazardous areas. OSHA regulations recommend that hoisting and rigging workers maintain a 10-foot radius from power lines, and it's important to use insulated barriers, tape fences, and other indicators when working near power lines. You can help avoid power line contact by training your operators and providing additional workers to observe nearby areas in case it's difficult to maintain visual clearance. Materials falling is a common hazard concern for whatever work site that use overhead cranes. However, you can help reduce injuries and deaths from falling objects by performing regular maintenance checks of your hoist. Additionally, routine load testing should be done to ensure that workers are aware of how many pounds a hoist can handle. While best way your workers can stay safe is by being aware of the job's surroundings, wearing proper personal protective equipment is important. Train employees will know correct PPA to wear after they are conducted safe audit on site. So we'll take it later now. I'm just going to close this for time being. It's over. It's already 3 hours, 1 minute, so let